What's up guys, RussLyman here, and in today's video I'm going to show you how I made this custom blue shell cargo carrier. It sits on top of my Mario Kart car and everyone loves looking at it. They do a double take. Hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys, it's a nice beautiful sunny day. I'm in my backyard because my blue shell is back here. Here's my giant blue shell. I want to show you guys kind of what it looks like. We're going to be putting it back on the car. So let me give you an overview of it. So here's my fully custom fiberglass blue shell cargo carrier. Kind of fits good in the wilderness here. So the wings are fabric. They're a little weathered from being outside. And yeah, the whole shell is hard fiberglass. And if you look back here, this is where I have all my other stuff. Under this bumper, this is the first shell, the red shell. So yeah guys, I want to show you real quick how I made the red shell, because this is what started it all. I wanted to make sure I was able to fit my spare tire in it, so I started everything with an MDF base, put a tire on there, and kind of base the size around that. Then I got some plastic strips that bent easily, and I put that around the shell of it, basically with some dowels, glued that on to start forming the shape that I wanted. Then I just stretched some fabric over the top of that and soaked it in resin until it hardened. This way I can put the fiberglass on top of that. But before, I had to make the structures that really made it a shell. I was basing it off this picture, top-down picture of a turtle shell. So I was using a couple dowels and great stuff, expanding foam. So you spray this stuff on and it expands, and then once it hardens over 24 hours, you can then sand it back and shape it a little bit more. So then on top of the expanding foam, I just put a layer of like sheetrock compound, just so the resin and fiberglass wouldn't eat through the foam itself. And then I ended up fiberglassing the whole thing, and then also painting it with a mixture of fiberglass and bondo together. This ended up making it weigh a whole lot more than I wanted to, but I got the shape desired. And here you can see some old video of the shell itself. It opens up. I got some chains up there so it doesn't completely open up. Got my spare tire up in there, but again, this thing weighed a lot to put it up on top of the car. I said it probably weighed 75 pounds or so. But luckily, when I wanted to do the revision and make the blue shell, I had this to make a copy of. So basically, I put tape all over the red shell, masking tape and some packing tape as well, and then fiberglass on top of that, so I can pull a full fiberglass mold. So this way I didn't have all that extra material in there. So now when I went on to make the blue shell, I needed to add spikes and wings on it. So I went to Joann's Fabric and bought foam cones that they had, and I glued those on. But the cones themselves weren't as thick as I wanted them to be, so I took like some twine and wrapped it around all the cones to like thicken it up. And then I soaked that in resin and then ended up putting a mixture of resin and bondo over that. And the placement of the wings itself, I actually had to cut two of the spikes with the layout and attach the wings on there with that. I didn't make the wings myself. Luckily, my friend Jen is awesome at sculpting, so she sculpted me the wings out of, again, great stuff, expanding foam, and they were perfect to scale. And then I just fiberglassed them to the shell itself. This way I had no issues of them falling off. Then I put a very thin layer of bondo on it. I wanted to make sure the weight stayed down on this, and once that was on there, I ended up painting the shell. I just used some acrylic paint as a base coat. It stayed on there okay. It was up there for maybe 2-3 years on the outside of the car, so it had some weathering, but this overall turned out pretty great with the color scheme. And even if it was a little bit rough around the edges, you know, it still looked like a shell, turtle shell, that maybe was more realistic. It didn't have to be absolutely perfect, sanded down and everything like that. So this is from 2017 footage you're watching, and it's the shell being brand new, put on the car, and this is version 2 of my car, of the Mario Kart car. And it looks awesome. It really pops. Nice fresh paint on there. The wings look fresh because they haven't been weathered, so they're nice and white. these chains here so it doesn't open all the way. But this one kind of broke down there, so I gotta replace that. So we're gonna replace those two little things there. The inside, you know, you can kind of see all the tape that I used when I molded, and I used aluminum foil so I can pull the mold a little bit better. But yeah, the inside's rough because you're never really going to see it, and I just painted the inside black to look a little better. Put a couple holes just so you can have some drainage. But let's go get those pieces so I can fix that. 480 pounds, quick link. These should work good. Try maybe there. A little bit more. It's up on the roof rack now. I do have a little hinge right here that keeps it from kind of opening up. I don't lock it because there's nothing in it right now. But then I also have the hinges on the front right here that kind of keep it center. And these just pop open like so. And then you can tighten these down. They screw in to get a tight fit, and then it just goes right there on the latch. And then when you press down, pulls it down and keeps it nice and tight. And you can't see the exposed hinges over here, which is whatever. It has the hinge open, so it's a little hard to hide those, and they're attached to a 2x4 on each side, so it's nice and sturdy. I suppose I can fiberglass something over that, but it's not that big of a deal for me. And you can definitely see how much weathered the wings are and kind of peeling off in some spots here and there, so they definitely taken a beating, but you know, it gives it a more distressed look. This side too, looking a little weathered. It's seen many races. Alright guys, that's the quick tour of the blue shell cargo carrier that I made. Let's jump in the car. We'll get some awesome B-roll so you guys can really enjoy the view of it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed the build video of the blue shell and found it interesting. If you guys want, I have a full playlist of me modifying my custom Super Mario Kart. Have me purchasing it, painting it, putting the graphic on it, doing the headliner in it. It's definitely a fun watch. There'll be a link at the end of the video and in the description down below. Subscribe if you're not already, guys, because I put out weekly videos. And as always, I'm RussLyman, and keep your world fun bit by bit. I'll see you next video. And I want to give a super shout out to all my Patreon supporters: Dan Buchanan, Joey Ellis, George Sandoval, Joseph Riviera, Nintendo, Joe Sheevy, David Apuzzo, Maynard, Brian Culpepper, TechWizX, Matthew Hannigan, Alex Kaz, Ayan Oshi, Gannon and all my Patreon supporters. Link below if you want to join, and I'll see you later.